From the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Welcome back to KPIX 5 this morning. Time now is 6:29. I'm Melissa Kane.
Good morning. I'm Devin Fehely.
Suspected car thief is dead and a San Jose police officer is injured after a confrontation that ended with a shooting on the city's east side. This happened yesterday afternoon in an apartment complex carport on Story Road. And police say officers fatally shot a man who had struck and dragged one of the officers with a stolen vehicle. Investigators say that at one point the officer was pinned between the stolen car and another vehicle. The injured officer was taken to a hospital for the treatment of broken bones. Now, some neighbors say there's been a recent increase in crime in this area.
You know, shootings, all the gang members are getting out of jail. You know, it's horrible.
Police Chief Eddie Garcia is expected to provide a statement about this incident tomorrow.
Investigators are still looking into the cause of a fiery multi-vehicle crash on Highway 101 that left one person dead. It happened yesterday morning in the northbound lanes at Sierra Point Parkway in northern San Mateo County. A northbound stretch of the freeway was shut down for hours. The chain reaction crash involved 5 vehicles, including a chartered bus carrying members of a choir from Oakwood University in Alabama. The bus and 2 of the cars burst into flames.
Shaken up, very much so, but, you know, thankful that we lost things and not lives.
The person who died was the driver of one of the other cars. Now, several people were injured and taken to a hospital. Some Bay Area businesses and agencies have helped the choir replace some of the things that they lost in the fire. Now, the choir plans to perform today starting at 5 p.m. at the Third Baptist Church in San Francisco. Admission to that event is free.
And 5 people are being treated for wounds after a shooting in Stockton. Now, this happened yesterday evening at the same scene of a fatal shooting just days earlier. It's not clear yet whether the shootings are related, but at least 2 of yesterday evening's victims are in critical condition.
Santa Rosa police say a man was held hostage for ransom for about 9 hours after a marijuana deal apparently went bad. Detectives went to a home yesterday morning on Sebastopol Road where they say the 2 brothers were being held. A suspect freed one of the brothers but kept the other tied up with duct tape and zip ties. A SWAT team moved in about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They made an arrest and freed the hostage and also recovered this replica handgun. Police say the man had used the fake weapon to threaten his victims. The man under arrest is identified as 24-year-old Juan Canchoa of Santa Rosa. He's been booked on charges of kidnapping for ransom and false imprisonment.
And police in Walnut Creek are investigating a road rage attack that ended up with 4 people injured. Investigators say that 2 groups of men got out of their cars at North Main Street and Parkside Drive at around 2 a.m. yesterday morning. A fight broke out and 3 men were stabbed. A 4th was hit by a car. Now, soon after, police arrested these 3 men in connection with the attack. It's not clear whether they were also injured. Authorities have not said where the road rage incident started.
An elderly man is safe this morning after escaping from a burning home in Los Gatos. It started in an attic about 7 o'clock yesterday morning at Foster Road and Highland Terrace. Santa Clara County firefighters had a difficult time getting into the house because the surrounding property was overgrown with vegetation. In fact, there was a small vegetation fire behind the home. Crews say the fire had the potential to spread to other homes, but cooler weather helped them quickly contain the flames.
And health officials are on alert in Southern California with a new measles case exposing others at a university. A UC Irvine graduate student has tested positive for measles, and he was on campus for 3 days visiting multiple buildings and exposing fellow students and faculty. There have been at least 40 confirmed cases of measles in California this year, including 10 in the Bay Area. And passengers are describing the frightening moments as their plane tried to land, but instead bounced on a Florida runway and went into a river.
The military charter was carrying almost 150 people, and remarkably, as Kenneth Craig reports, no one was seriously injured.
The military chartered plane carrying 143 people from Cuba to Florida slid off the runway into the St. Johns River in Jacksonville.
The plane bounced and screeched and bounced some more, and then it came to a complete like a crash stop.
No one died and no serious injuries were reported in the Friday night accident.
I think it is a miracle. it could have ended we could be talking about a different story.
In Jacksonville, 16 investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are now working to determine how the Boeing 737 ended up in the shallow water. An NTSB official displayed the plane's data recorder after it was recovered.
The cockpit voice recorder, which is the device that records the intra-cockpit conversation between the crew and also external transmissions with air traffic control, is another matter. That is in the tail of the aircraft and is currently underwater, and we cannot get to it until the aircraft is moved.
The Miami Air International flight took off from the naval station at Guantanamo Bay. Officials say the plane, which carried civilian and military personnel, was landing in a thunderstorm when the accident happened just before 10 p.m.
There was rain coming down. There was lightning and thunder. And we stood on that wing for a significant period of time.
The crews went into the water to rescue the personnel that were on the wings of the aircraft. They started bringing the personnel from the aircraft to the shore.
By early Saturday, all 136 passengers and 7 crew members had been rescued. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Now, Boeing says it is also investigating what went wrong, along with the NTSB.
This morning, crews are working through an aftermath of a massive silicone plant explosion near Chicago. Hazardous debris is hampering the search for survivors there. It happened at a factory in Lake County just north of Chicago. Officials say they're working with the owner to secure the site. One body has been recovered, but 2 employees are still missing. At least 4 others are injured. The explosion leveled the building. That debris that you see here is reportedly hazardous and needs to be contained before the search continues. Officials say 9 people were in the building when it exploded. No word yet on what caused that accident.
And a hiker is back home this morning after being stranded on a steep Marin County hillside for hours. The man in his 60s went missing on Friday afternoon on Mount Barnaby, that's in Samuel P. Taylor State Park. And after searching for hours, rescuers finally narrowed down his location when his wife got a ping from his GPS tracker. A CHP helicopter found him in a ravine about 1,000 feet down, and they hoisted a rope and pulled him to safety. And other than being a little disoriented, he's okay.
2 Bay Area Catholic dioceses are responding to a new investigation by California Attorney General Javier Becerra. He's investigating a dozen Catholic churches in the state for how they handled allegations of sexual abuse. He wants to know whether they're reporting that abuse to law enforcement. At least 3 of those dioceses are here in the Bay Area: Oakland, San Francisco, and San Jose. The San Jose diocese says, quote, "In the spirit of transparency, it's carefully reviewing the request and intends to cooperate with the Attorney General's office." And from the Oakland diocese, quote, "Our mandated training of all of those who work or volunteer for the diocese includes an explanation of everyone's obligation to report to law enforcement." As part of the inquiry, the diocese will be required to preserve all files and records related to sex abuse.
Look at the 7-day forecast. You don't see a chance of rain on there. Look at Sunday and Monday, it's just clouds. But as we saw in the forecast just a few minutes ago, we are going to get some rain. It's just going to come like right around midnight tonight and before sunrise tomorrow. So I didn't have the heart to put rain on Monday, but it will rain a little bit in the morning tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Have a great day.